You ever seen a courtroom turn into a live-action reality show meltdown? No, not some scripted scene with multiple takes and camera angles. We're talking about the real deal. Gavel, gudge, oath. And right there, in the middle of a session, Bambi, yes, that Bambi got slapped with handcuffs like the final twist of a plot she thought she controlled. What was the crime? Lying, but not just any lie. She swore under oath that she was pregnant, and the world believed her. Until it did, in single quotes. The secret didn't unravel quietly. It exploded. A voice recording, clear as day, found its way to the courtroom, and in that audio, you hear Bambi's voice, cocky and careless. "Girl, I was never pregnant." She laughed. "I needed ammo." Scrappy had to cough up somehow. Boom. The judge didn't hesitate. He slammed that gavel so hard it echoed off the walls, and the entire room froze. Stevie J leaned back, arms folded, lips curled into a grin that screamed, "Told you so." Scrappy. That man didn't even flinch. His whole body folded in on itself, fingers trembling so hard he almost dropped the pen he'd been fidgeting with. The bailiff didn't wait. "Stand up. Hands behind you. Let's go." Just like that, Bambi's whole castle of lies crumbled in a single breath. No more glow, no more glam, no more influencer posts about prenatal smoothies or baby bump oils. Gone. Now she's trending for fraud. For lying to a judge. For faking motherhood. A role most women treat with sacred reverence. Bambi turned into a prop. But that voice recording, that was just the fuse. The explosion was coming. You ever wonder how deep a lie can crawl before it bites back? Well, Bambi's lie didn't crawl, it sprinted. Straight down a courthouse hallway. It pounced on her in the middle of testimony, and slapped cold metal cuffs on her wrists while the city watched in real time. Reporters outside the building thought they were covering another day of drama between a rapper and a reality star. They didn't expect a judge to vanish behind chambers for 15 minutes and return holding a flash drive like it was a loaded weapon. Let's rewind, because this wasn't a single oops. It wasn't just a fib, it was a performance. She played the long game. From the moment she dropped the "I'm pregnant" bomb, sympathy flooded her timeline. Scrappy was already under fire for not being a present father. Bambi used that narrative like a sword. Who questions a weeping mother-to-be, especially when she's whispering through tears about how she just wants Scrappy to be there for the baby? But behind the tears, red flags. Scrappy's legal team had their suspicions. Dates didn't line up. No prenatal documents. No doctor visits that could be verified. Her bump looked different week to week. But suspicion isn't evidence. They needed more than inconsistencies. They needed fire. And yesterday they got it. An anonymous voice note, no sender, no name. Just a file dropped into Scrappy's lawyer's inbox. A click. And then, her voice. "Look sis, I'm not pregnant. I just need the judge to eat out of my palm. Once the check drops, I'll boo-hoo on cue." Scrappy won't know what hit him. It was unmistakable. Her voice, her slang, her tone. The judge didn't keep it to himself. He had that audio played on every screen in the courtroom like it was a new Netflix drop. Bambi sat frozen, mascara barely holding on, lips twitching. Judge Monroe looked her dead in the eyes. Cold, controlled. "Ms. Richardson," he said, "before you utter a word, understand this, your next move could bury you." She opened her mouth, and closed it. Nothing left to say. Scrappy's hand gripped that pen so tight it cracked. Then came the sound that would haunt Bambi forever, the judge's voice. "This court orders immediate remand of Ms. Richardson pending perjury and fraud proceedings." And that's when it all shattered. Stevie J. He smirked like he just won a bet, whispered something slick to his assistant. Scrappy didn't say a word. "Bambi," she screamed, cried, cussed out everyone in sight. She swore the system was rigged. She wailed that Stevie set her up, but the court don't care about fake tears when felony charges are on the table. Reporters swarmed. Microphones shoved in her face. Someone yelled, "Did you fake it all for money?" But Bambi couldn't answer. She was too busy sobbing in cuffs as they dragged her to the cruiser. Now here's where it twists again. Because guess what? That flash drive, that bombshell, it didn't come from Scrappy's side, it came from Stevie J. Yeah. The same Stevie J who wasn't even supposed to be in court that day, but there he was, tailored suit, smug grin, standing just close enough to Bambi to witness the downfall he allegedly helped engineer. You see, Stevie had been moving behind the scenes for months. Not to help Bambi, not to clear Scrappy's name, but to scrub his own. because Stevie's name had been getting thrown around a little too often. Whispers of involvement, screenshots, texts, even a few late-night hotel slips no one was supposed to see. So what did he do? He hired a private investigator. And what did that guy do? He started digging. Real deep. And when the audio was found, Stevie made a decision. Drop the tape. Burn Bambi. Save himself. Or so he thought. Because when the judge played the rest of the recording, that's when everything lit up. 5 more minutes of audio, uncut and lethal. Another voice broke through. A woman crying. I can't do this, she sobbed. I didn't know he'd use my sonogram. Then, Stevie's voice. Low, slick, slippery. No one will know it's fake. Sign the damn form. You'll get 10 grand and a plane ticket. Now shut up. That courtroom, silent. Until the gasps hit. They didn't just lie about a pregnancy. They stole another woman's sonogram. Used her medical records to fabricate a story. Bambi and Stevie partners in fraud, and Scrappy. He sat there still numb, like his world was dissolving in slow motion. Mama D wasn't still. She exploded. She jumped from her seat, pointing at Stevie like she was summoning lightning. I been telling y'all, he's a snake. He turned my baby into a fool. Security had to pull her back while court clerks scrambled to update filings. Meanwhile, the internet was going nuclear. Every leaked second, every quote, every screenshot. TikTok was flooded with clips, Twitter trending, YouTube reactors breaking it down frame by frame. And right outside that courthouse, a circus. Bloggers, fans, opportunists. One even held a sign. Pregnancy Plot Season 1 executive producer, Stevie J and Bambi. While she was being fingerprinted and photographed downtown, Scrappy's lawyers filed an emergency motion. They want every cent he paid under Bambi's fake claims back. With interest. But this ain't just about cash. This is war. Because just when you thought the camera was panning out, VH1 execs walked into that courtroom. 3 of them. No cameras, no smiles. Just panic behind designer sunglasses. Because if the court proves they knew Bambi's pregnancy was fake and still aired it, that's network-level fraud. One insider muttered under his breath, pull the whole season. Now, too late. Clips of Bambi holding her belly, sobbing into the camera about Scrappy's cruelty. Already viral. Already dubbed. Already stitched 100,000 times with hashtags like #FakeBaby and #OscarWorthy scam. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, Bambi's lawyer stood up and said the most ridiculous thing yet. That voice recording could be a deep T dead serious. He wiped sweat from his forehead. In this era of AI manipulation, we believe this could be a cloned voice, fabricated deepfaked. The judge didn't even blink. Produce an expert witness, he said flatly, or park the sci-fi. And just like that, the case was upgraded, no longer just a lie. Now an official criminal fraud investigation. And guess where Stevie J was? Hiding. Sliding into the backseat of a black SUV, ducking from TMZ like they were the feds. No comment, he muttered like it was his catchphrase. But sources close to him say his defense is in motion. According to his team, Stevie was manipulated, too, gaslit, convinced by Bambi that helping her was his only way to avoid exposure of his own mess. His strategy. Classic Stevie finger point, deflect, sacrifice. But the court ain't playing games anymore. Twitter's divided. Half the internet wants Bambi charged to the max for weaponizing motherhood. The other half wants Stevie burned for masterminding the fraud. But here's the kicker. They both might end up tasting prison food, and we haven't even cracked open the sealed folder marked Exhibit G. Rumor says it contains security footage from Stevie J's condo, footage timestamped on the exact day Bambi claimed she got her ultrasound. And guess what? The woman in that video, not Bambi. Not Scrappy. A mystery woman, pregnant, crying, holding her belly. And if that footage hits the screens, all hell's breaking loose. The courtroom had gone from tense to tragic to outright explosive. But just when everyone thought they'd seen it all, Judge Monroe tapped the folder marked Exhibit G like it was a bomb wired to blow. Rumors whispered louder than gavel cracks. That folder, it didn't just hold documents, it held footage. Footage from a private security camera, from Stevie J's Miami condo, time-stamped down to the minute, the very hour Bambi claimed she was at a prenatal appointment. And when they rolled the tape, it wasn't Bambi, wasn't Scrappy, it was a woman no one had seen before, visibly pregnant, sobbing into her hands on Stevie's leather couch, clutching a manila envelope, presumably the same one that held the ultrasound they passed off as Bambi's. She cried. She begged. She said, "Don't make me part of this." And then Stevie's voice again, slick and hushed, but now with that undeniable tone of control. "You wanted money, right? Then stop crying and play your part." You could hear the air leave the room. The judge paused the video, turned toward Bambi. She couldn't speak, could barely breathe. Her own attorney sat with his hands clasped like he was praying for the earth to swallow him whole. Then came 6 words. From the DA's lead investigator. Standing slow, voice like winter. "We have the original phone recording." Gasps ripped across the courtroom. The court reporter literally stopped typing. A tech wheeled out a government laptop, plugged in a verified copy, and hit play. And there it was, Bambi's voice clear. .com, deliberate. "I told him I was pregnant, so he'd shut up. He threatened to cut me off. I needed time. I needed cash. I knew a baby would break him down fast." You'd think that was the climax, right? Wrong. Next file. Her best friend, whispering, "You going to drag this lie forever? What if they ask for proof?" And Bambi. She replied like a villain sipping wine on a soap opera. "They won't. Scrappy's weak. He craves a family. This lie, it's my safety net." The courtroom broke. Stevie leaned back again, smug, villainous, untouchable. Scrappy. He didn't move, didn't speak, just stared into nothing like the past 5 years had been ripped from his chest. Judge Monroe removed his glasses, rubbed the bridge of his nose like this whole mess was giving him a migraine and an existential crisis. Then came the final hammer. This court finds sufficient cause for obstruction, fraud, defamation, and sustained perjury. The defendant will remain in custody as a full criminal probe proceeds. Gavel down. Again Bambi's lawyer stammered through excuses. She was vulnerable. She feared abandonment. She was scared to lose her family. But the judge didn't blink. "You didn't just lie. You exploited motherhood. You attempted to manipulate the justice system with a fabricated pregnancy. This is not only illegal, it is inhumane." Whack gavel down. Again, by now, reporters were already sprinting out of the courtroom, racing to drop the story. TMZ didn't wait for closing statements. TikTok was flooded within seconds. Stitches, duets, hashtags. Fake baby #courtroom collapse. #pregnancy congemand. Then came the aftershocks. Scrappy's legal team filed an emergency petition for sole custody of their actual child. No cameras, no drama, just truth. The child had been paraded as a pawn in the storylines. Not anymore, and VH1. Panicking Mona Scott Young, the puppet master of this reality empire, was suddenly on radio silence. Rumors swirled that she'd already cut Bambi from all future shows, not out of outrage, but to protect the brand. Because guess what? If VH1 filmed even one scene while knowing Bambi wasn't really pregnant, they could be complicit. One former crew member leaked an anonymous quote. "We were told to just keep rolling. Producers wanted the drama. They said, pregnancy equals ratings." Nobody stopped to check the facts. And now, petitions, lawsuits, sponsors, pulling out. A Change.org petition to ban cast members who fake pregnancies for views had already crossed 50,000 signatures and was climbing by the minute. Meanwhile, fans turned into full-blown forensic experts. Every scene Bambi ever filmed while pregnant under the microscope. People paused scenes, zoomed in on belly inconsistencies, time-stamped social posts, and cross-checked her medical claims against party appearances. One video even went viral showing Bambi rubbing her bump on Monday and tossing tequila at a rooftop bar on Friday. Yeah, the math ain't mathing. And then, just when the heat couldn't rise higher, Erica Dixon, Scrappy's ex, dropped a tweet, now deleted. God, don't miss addresses. Not even luxury condos. Shade level. Nuclear.RASHEEDA. Couldn't help herself, either. She went live from her boutique, iced coffee in hand, cool as ever. TV might be fake, she said, but courtrooms. That's as real as it gets. Boom, bars. But while social media was exploding, Scrappy, he wasn't posting no quotes. Number, stories. No clapbacks. He just left the courthouse quietly, flanked by Mama D, who still looked like she was ready to lay hands. In his hand, a folded piece of paper, no one knows what it was for sure. Some say it was the court transcript, her words, immortalized. Others say it was custody papers, the start of a new battle. This time for his child. But one insider swore it was a letter Scrappy wrote to his daughter, A raw, unfiltered truth of what really happened, meant to be read someday when the noise dies down. And as if this whole thing needed more fuel. A second recording is rumored to exist, leaked by an inside whistleblower, and this one, it doesn't just take Bambi down, it reportedly implicates a VH1 producer, encouraging the fake pregnancy angle for ratings. You keep playing up the baby thing. The voice allegedly says, "We'll write Scrappy as the bad guy. Fans eat that up, milk it. We need a season arc." If that audio drops, we're not talking cast drama, we're talking network liability. Advertiser exits, potential federal inquiries, lawsuits that could bury VH1 deeper than a cancellation ever could. And yet, in the middle of it all, Bambi's still in County Orange. Her mugshot already viral, her influencer deals dried up, her brand collaborations quietly deleting posts. 1 second, she's on IG selling detox, SMOOTHIES. Next, she's a trending cautionary tale. And Stevie J, still dodging cameras, still posting cryptic IG stories like never test a legend. But this time, the legend might be out of moves. Because Mona Scott, she's not playing savior, she's playing safe. Insiders say, legal is prepping for the worst, because if Stevie's hands are dirty, and Bambi's pregnancy was knowingly pushed, as a storyline that's more than a scandal, that's fraud, that's manipulation, that's exploitation. And this story, it ain't over. Not even close, because the fans, they're watching, they're documenting, they're dissecting every layer of every episode, every lie, every fake tear, every scripted fight. And now, they want accountability, they want justice, they want truth, not entertainment sold as reality. So maybe this wasn't just Bambi's downfall, maybe this was the crack that splits the whole empire. And the question hanging heavy now, was Bambi the mastermind, or just a puppet? Was this all her idea? Or was she dancing on strings held by producers, too greedy to care about consequences? And what about Scrappy? Will he get justice? Will his daughter get truth? Or will they both be footnotes in a scandal too toxic to scrub? Only time will tell. But one thing is crystal clear. Reality TV just got very real, so ask yourself, who's really guilty? Who's really pulling the strings? And when the cameras stop rolling, who pays the price? The price.